What's happening, guys? Grizno here, and welcome to Kit Up, my weekly Battlefield series in which you guys decide what weapon and kit I should use, and then I go out and try to get a gameplay with it. Now, seeing as this is the first episode, I've gone ahead and decided what weapon and kit was going to be used for this episode myself, because there's just no way you guys could have voted, unless you're following me on Twitter. So for this episode, I'm playing Team Deathmatch on Rogue Transmission, and I don't even know how that happened. I usually try to avoid Team Deathmatch, but I was in the server playing Domination, and I guess it must have been a mixed mode or TDM Dom server because we ended up playing this round of Team Deathmatch. But I have to say, it was a really fun game, and I think I may play more TDM now instead of Domination, just see how that pans out for me, because this was a really fun game. But anyway, on to the weapon I am using. I decided to go easy on myself being at the first episode and all, so I'm using the assault kit with the ACW-R Carbine rifle, US Reflex red dot optic, an angled grip, and a suppressor. And I know what you're thinking, using a carbine with an assault kit is kinda like blasphemy, being that the assault rifles themselves are so damn good and you'd be a fool not to use them. But the ACW-R is once again one of my favorite weapons in Battlefield 4, just like it was in Battlefield 3, because of its versatility. Its high rate of fire makes it an absolute monster in CQB, but it does have that potential to kill at longer ranges. It does have one of the lower stability scores though, according to Battlelog, and also according to Battlelog this is one of the worst carbines, but also pigs fly, so I wouldn't trust that source. And I pick up a nice cheeky little kill here at a longer distance, so there you go, proof that the ACW-R handles well at medium to long ranges. So let's go ahead and look at some of the notable stats on this beast. As always, stats are taken from simthic.com. Remember, if it ain't Simthic, it ain't worth jack, son! So the ACW-R has a max damage of 25 and a minimum of 15.4. Pretty standard for a carbine, actually. I think there are only one or two that don't have that exact statistic. It all comes down to preference for the most part anyway. Rate of fire is 880 rounds per minute, so that is definitely an interesting one. This is what makes the ACW-R, I always call it the ACR, so godlike in close quarters combat. It will just melt faces in tight. Also, a 2.37 second long reload and a 1.83 second short reload is none too shabby either. The one thing you really have to be wary about when using the ACW-R is the recoil. It's kind of sporadic on this guy, but for the most part kicks straight up, so that's good. Firing in bursts at longer distances is definitely what you want to be doing when you're trying to hit those longer shots. I also find the ACR to be particularly effective with the suppressor on it, especially for those close quarter maps or game modes like Team Deathmatch or Domination. Actually, you might benefit from a suppressor on certain rush maps as well. Granted, you'd probably have to be playing a 32 player or less game, because in 64 players there's absolutely no sense in using a suppressor for the most part. There may be some exceptions to that sort of rule, but I think you guys get my point. There's just so many guys running around everywhere. There aren't many lanes left unwatched or unattended. If you will, you're pretty much lucky to squeeze through to begin with. Something else you might notice is that I don't have an accessory equipped on the ACR, and I usually would run the laser sight in this scenario, but for some reason, I don't know why, I just plain forgot to equip it. And I'll tell you why I use the laser here is because there were a lot of opportunities for hip fire in this game that I either didn't try at all because I didn't have it equipped, or I probably should have, or that I lost the gunfight probably because I didn't have that hip fire bonus that the laser gives. I think I had it off the game before because sometimes I like to be extra stealthy and not have it give away my position. I suppose I should have just kept turning it off when I wanted to, that would have made more sense. But yeah, I think a couple of my deaths I could have prevented if I had had that slightly more accurate hip fire, I guess. Oh, and this is my favorite part of the game here. check out this beauty little maneuver right here. I'm gonna come up to this fence, shoot a hole in the fence, and oh, hello! Levolution utilization at its finest right there, folks. And right here is exactly what I was talking about earlier with the laser sight thing. I might have been able to pull off that kill if I had had it on. Who knows? So to wrap things up here, I kind of have to set up the ending of this game because it was pretty tight. You'll hear one of my squad mates actually tell us to just stay alive, don't die. But to sum up my thoughts on this weapon, the ACW-R is definitely a beast all around. In close quarters, it definitely stands up to the M416s and the AEKs, but just be wary of that little extra damage drop off when it comes with a carbine compared to an assault rifle. It's a great all-around weapon, and it definitely performs well with the suppressor. Just make sure you're burst firing at the longer ranges, and you'll be slaying in no time with this gun. So thank you very much for tuning in for the first episode of Kit Up, and now here's where the fun starts. I want you guys to choose the next weapon and kit I use, so here's what I want you to do. Leave a comment on this video or send it in a tweet to my Twitter account, Grisno, and tell me the kit that you want me to use for next week's episode. You can just tell me the gun that you want to see, or you can get real granular with it and tell me the exact class, primary, secondary weapon, gadget, grenade, camo, whatever. So let me know, guys, and enjoy the rest of the video. Thanks so much for watching. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe to my channel for future episodes and videos and all that stuff. Also, check out my new series on Starbound. It's a really cool RPG. Alright guys, like the video, share it with your friends. My name is Grisno. See ya.